What is up, W Sports Podcast? Jimothy Tubby, we are back again as we are wrapped up all things NFL week number 16, I believe, as we have almost a clear picture of what the playoffs teams are going to look like as teams are getting eliminated, teams are getting clinched. It's going to be a great end of the season, but Tubby and Jimothy, we're back again to bring you all the thoughts and the notes and all the things. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. But Tubby, welcome back to the show.
What is up?
Yeah, man. Here's the trivia question nobody has thought about, but I thought about it. We quizzed you. I said, "What do you think the first start for Michael Penix is going to be?" Do you remember what you said?
I said 200 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Yeah. What do you know his stat line was?
I don't.
202 yards, no touchdown, but he did have an interception.
Yeah, the interception wasn't his fault either.
That's what I thought.
No, that was all on Kyle Pitts. That dude literally let the ball go right through his hands.
Yeah, and like we said, Bijan Robinson, 22 carries, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Joe with another carry. This was the recipe to win. Obviously, it was the Giants. They're terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But look at that. There you go, Tubby. Just
Yeah,
scouting, ready to go.
Hey, NFL team, if you need a scout, I'm here.
Tubby's ready for it. Yeah, whether it's scouting college players, scouting free agents, whatever, he's got you.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. He's got it.
got
Not a whole lot to talk about with this game other than Michael Penix doing that. The Falcons, though, have snuck back in to the playoff picture. Do you know where they're at right now?
Are they'd be with the 5th seed?
They are now leading the division, right?
Or they'd be the 4th seed, wouldn't they?
Correct. Yeah, because the Bucks
Bucks
lost.
Yeah.
They are now leading the division. They have a
Mhm.
better conference record and a better division record. So
yeah, they let that one slip through the cracks last night. Bucks did.
Yeah. So that was frustrating, especially because the Cowboys were eliminated from the playoffs, and now here we are. They Cooper Rush is airing it out, getting it to CeeDee Lamb as much as possible. Whatever.
Yeah.
That team still cannot run the ball, and it just drives me crazy.
Yeah, and I mean the Bucks, they had every opportunity last night to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cooper Rush literally threw it right to the defender on the 20-yard line, and he just flat out dropped it.
Yeah, I do feel like that was one of those things where it almost feels like they're just barely out of sync. The Bucks were in that game. They was there, and they're the better team. But sometimes, that's the NFL. It's a road game in the evening. It's just kind of weird. But so this, as a Chiefs fan, I've heard a lot of people complain, and I need everyone to pause. I know the Chiefs play. This is the week of Christmas. They play on Wednesday. They played on Saturday, and they played the Sunday before that. So it's 3 games in, I think, 10 days. Absolutely insane. Probably a really dumb decision as far as the NFL goes. But they're not the only team that did that. These 4 teams that played on Saturday are the same 4 teams that are playing on Wednesday. Chiefs, Texans, Patriots, Ravens. All 4 of those teams playing each other. It's like almost a round robin.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like I don't understand it. I mean, you talk about protecting the football player. You ain't doing that right now.
This is 100% about money.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I get you wanting to have a Christmas game, but don't make make this. Try to figure out how the schedule works instead of playing. Oh, well, we're going to play on Sunday, then we're going to play on Saturday, then you'll play on Wednesday also.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. But the good news is, I mean, the Texans they've already locked up the division, I believe. The Steelers and Ravens, they played each other, and the Steelers right now are the division leaders, which is crazy, despite having lost 2 in a row. But that has come down to conference record as they're tied in the division. And then the Chiefs, they've locked up the division. So the playoff, these are all playoff teams. So they don't have. I mean, now it's all about seeding, which is going to matter, but. For the most part, it's Chiefs take care of business. They can lock up that home field advantage, and the Texans have almost all but surely settled up with a home field advantage for their first game, so they don't have a whole lot to worry about. But I don't know. What are your thoughts here as you go into this week? Outside of, big playoff picture stuff. Any of the big storylines that you're looking
at? Let's see. Well, I think the Eagles losing. I mean, kept Washington in contention for that NFC East.
Yeah.
And we don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to play this week. He got concussion. And then on top of that, your backup quarterback, Kenny Pickett, got hurt, rib injury. So now you're looking at a potential having to start Tanner McKee this week if you're the Eagles and the Commanders. I mean, the Eagles, you have to win. Devonta Smith, if he catches that ball, game's over. And drops the ball, and Jaden Daniels does what Jaden Daniels does at the end of the game. Gave his team every opportunity to win and went down, scored a touchdown, won the game, keep their NFC East hopes alive. And I think that was the big thing, because if I think the Eagles, if they end up somehow losing that division, have to go on the road, I think it's going to be, not the best situation for them, because we saw last year. Granted, they're not the same team as they were last year. The defense is better, and their offense is, moving a lot better. But they went on the road last year and just got absolutely mopped in the first round.
Yeah, and they win one more game, they're done. They're good. They have 2 games to win one. They control their destiny, which is obviously helpful. I think Tanner McKee starts their next game. That's an L, though. Like, that does not look good. I did not like him in college. I don't know how he's in the NFL other than just the size profile. People are like, oh, he's got the prototypical NFL quarterback. But I think it's going to be tough. Kenny Pickett at least gives them a shot to win. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, we're throwing out Jameis Winston. I don't have no idea what we're going to get, but we're going to see. The Commanders, though, this was a little bit of life out of Jaden Daniels, and he has been struggling recently. When you look at big playoff picture, is this a team that if they make the playoffs, hey, we got to take this as a great stepping forward moment for the season? Or is this hey, we're too good to win at least one playoff game?
No, this absolutely is a great step forward for your franchise, because
Agreed.
I don't think anyone expected you to be in the playoffs this year with, having a rookie quarterback, new head coach, new offense coordinator, new defense coordinator, all this, new in this, within this organization. I don't think anyone expected this. And Jaden Daniels to come out and just absolutely balled out, has played incredible football. And then yesterday just showed exactly why he was a top quarterback picked in, one of the top quarterbacks picked in last year's draft, because of the upside and the leadership. I mean, in those games, if you don't have them down good in the fourth quarter, that's a team that I do not want to see have the ball at the end of the game, because Jaden Daniels is clutch, go down and score. I mean, we saw the Hail Mary, we saw that play, we saw the Cowboys game. They lost, but you're down 14 with 2 minutes left, and you almost you tied up the game at one point.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you just said. I think that's 100% accurate. Do you know what's wild is if you look at the NFC playoff picture right now, the number 3 seed is the Rams.
Yeah,
they've won 4 games in a row. I think they were game under 500. I think it was like 5-6 or something like that. 9-6 right now. This is a team that I think is dangerous if they make the playoffs, just because Matt Stafford is a gamer. Like, this dude is going to go out, and he has shown time and time again. Doesn't matter if he's as old as he is. He's like, we're going to put the team in a position to win the game. Is this a team that you think most teams are looking at and saying, that's the one I don't want to play?
I mean, probably in the first round. Yeah, I think any of those teams would much rather play the NFC South team in the first round.
For sure, yeah.
But the thing with the Rams is that they've started to get healthy. The offense line's getting healthy. You got Cooper Kupp and Nakua. Higbee was back this week. Kyron Williams, along with Matthew Stafford, like you said, when it comes games, that dude will go out there and just. I mean, he's a gamer. No matter how beat up he is, he's still going to go out there and give every ounce that he has to the game. So that's a team that you don't want to play. And then on top of that, they have Super Bowl experience. They won it a couple of years ago.
It's true. Yeah. 49ers getting eliminated. Man, I don't even know what you do. I mean, they missed another field goal. And there's just not a lot that's gone right for this team. What do you think that we should expect from a team like this over the last couple of weeks? I know it's a team that's been eliminated from the playoffs. Why does it matter? But I think it matters for going into next year.
Yeah, a guy like George Kittle, he ain't gonna ever give up. That dude's gonna go out there and he's gonna play his hardest no matter what. And so hopefully for them, the rest of the team can take that same type of energy and just go in and just try to ruin some people's seasons or something. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but it's a tough year for them. Yeah, the injuries have hurt them, but they got a big decision this offseason. Not making the playoffs, and now third year Brock Purdy, he's up for an extension. What do you do?
Yeah, and they finished the season with Detroit and then at Arizona.
Okay, so they can't ruin really much of anything,
Yeah,
except for maybe Detroit getting the first round
the
bye.
bye. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. That is tough. I mean, they at one point were 5-4, and they have just. I mean, that's not even a great record for them. But when we saw that, we were like, but I see it. Like they can make the
Mm-hmm.
pieces work, and they just can't.
No,
I don't know. So if you're a 49ers fan, do you want them to extend Purdy?
man, that's a loaded question there.
I
I mean,
know.
that's tough because I mean he's had success,
Hmm.
but there's also the fact is like this year, you besides Christian McCaffrey being hurt, pretty much all season outside of 4 games, you for the most part you had Kittle most of the season, you had Deebo Samuel most of the season, and you had Jawan Jennings, who you look at it as a solid number 3 wide receiver who can step in and be number 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a hefty price tag. It's going to be somewhere around the 58 to $60 million a year, and so it just kind of you look at it and you go, can we win with this guy? Can he be that guy? And if not, who do we go and get?
Would would you agree that he's just a younger version of Kirk Cousins, skill set
Yeah,
wise?
yeah,
So would you pay that for Kirk Cousins? Would you? Not like now,
yeah.
but
No, not
like, would
yeah.
you have wanted to be the Vikings for
I
while
mean,
he was with the Vikings?
I wouldn't, but there's also the fact is you have to look at and go, what else do I, what other direction do I have?
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, that's the whole reason why, we talk about Trevor Lawrence and we didn't think he deserved his contract, the size that he got being the, top paid quarterback in the NFL and all that. But it is also, they look at it and you go, who can I go out there and get that's going to replace him? And that's the biggest question when it comes to quarterback. I mean, it's not like a running back or a wide receiver where you can go out and, you know, get one in the draft pretty easily or, sign a solid one off free agency.
I agree. Yeah, no, it's just, man, that's
It's a
hard to
tough
say. Like,
situation.
do I want my
Yeah.
ceiling to be Kirk Cousins with the Vikings? Because
Yeah.
they didn't win anything.
No, I mean, I guess granted for him, at least he's made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But it's also, like you said, do we think he's a game changer? Do you think that he
yeah.
can win you the big game? The big game. We've
Hmm.
seen him make it, through the NFC, and probably got a little bit lucky in those games. Not to lose those games last year, but I don't know. I think this year kind of shows more of who we thought Brock Purdy was,
Hmm. Yeah,
and everyone, oh, well, he's a great quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a solid, you know, middle tier quarterback, but I don't think he's the guy that can go out there and get you a Super Bowl win.
yeah. No, I agree. And I think part of the thing that props him up is the coach and the skill positions
Yeah.
that they have. Albeit they're injured this year, but that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
where I'm at. We talked about, we've gone back and forth on this team. The Vikings and the Lions. We briefly mentioned them. Uh, who do you have more faith in to finish this? A depleted Lions team who has been injured beyond what most people would even understand, or the Vikings who continue to win? They scored late to take over an opportunity to take the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
I'm taking Dan Campbell and that team. Uh, Dan Campbell leading that team. That team's gonna go out there and fight, and
Yeah,
they're not gonna go down easy.
yeah,
I still have my questions about the Vikings. I know they win. They just keep winning, and you can't take that away from them. But we've seen it before in one score games a couple years ago. They were 11-1, and then went
hmm,
into the playoffs and lost to the Giants.
yeah,
Granted, do I think they'll? I mean, they could
yeah,
very possibly do that this year. I mean, they've been in so many close one-score games against not great opponents. I think there's a good chance that we see that happen again. And can Sam Darnold
hmm,
show up when it means the most?
yeah. And how happy is the NFL that the Vikings and the Lions are playing each other the last week of the season? You
Oh,
know that's the last game, right?
yeah, they're stoked. I mean, as long as the Vikings don't lose next week to the Packers.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. But if the Lions lose and they lose, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know. I mean, I don't know what the actual. Then it might come
yeah,
down to the Eagles, but so we'll see about that. But
I think the Eagles are pretty much almost mathematically. out of it. I think they have a 5% chance at getting the first seed. It's pretty much the Vikings or the Lions right now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's move on. We got, speaking of number one seeds, you got the Kansas City Chiefs, who win again. Technically, another one possession game, but it didn't really feel like that.
No.
Um, you know what's wild to me is that there's like no talk about Andy Reid being a coach of the year.
I
I
mean,
don't think that award matters a whole lot to him.
yeah.
How many teams? This is on today the conversation. How many teams, if they went out, they'd be 16-1. How many 16 and how many one loss teams have there been? And of those teams, how many didn't win the Coach of the Year award?
I couldn't tell you.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I don't think there are any. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
People still don't believe him. And so here's what I'm starting to feel about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
as a Chiefs fan, I'm starting to feel like that year that he had 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards passing was kind of like the juice ball season, where he had 54 home runs and had 120 RBIs, but everybody did.
Yeah.
And I think what you see now is more of actually what you can expect.
Mm-hmm.
Is 4,400 yards. He's gonna have 30-something touchdowns, maybe 10 picks, right? Right.
Yeah.
But there's a part of his game that people always doubt, and that's the most critical moments of the game, or for some reason it's slower for him. It was slower
Mm-hmm.
for Michael. It was slower for Kobe. It was slower for
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady. Dadgummit, it was slower for Tom Brady.
Yep.
And people still don't buy it, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't look at Tom Brady and say he's the greatest quarterback to ever play.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you just pure talent, Tom Brady wasn't the best quarterback to ever play the game.
Yeah.
He's the greatest winner, greatest NFL player to play. Yeah, absolutely. Because he went out there and when it meant the most, you knew that guy, if he had that ball in his hand at the end of the game, 99% of the time, you're going to lose that ball game.
Yeah.
And that's what you see when Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not up by at least 2 scores in the final 2 minutes of that game, you lost. If Mahomes has the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. He has that clutch factor about him that not everyone has. He has that Mamba mentality.
Yes.
But, we talk about in college, in NBA players. He has that mentality where he's out there and he goes, I don't care who you are. I'm better than you at the end of the game. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna score. I don't care if you have the number one defense in ever.
If he's 19 for 38 for 150 yards, he's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
This is one possession I need. I'll go get it.
Yep.
It's just one of those things that and also they got Hollywood Brown. I just think of where this team was before DeAndre came here, receiving wise, because of the injuries, and now they have DeAndre Hopkins who does catch the ball. Hollywood Brown who's got to get the timing down, but Hollywood Brown is still good. Xavier Worthy's coming along. If they had this team's wide receiver core, people are going to doubt it, and I don't know. I'm just saying, watch out. He's going to say, watch out for the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, if you ain't watching out for the Chiefs in the playoffs, but before Hollywood Brown came back, and before Xavier Worthy took the step forward, and before they got DeAndre Hopkins, you fool.
Dude, you just I thought you were going to keep adding. It would have been great.
Yeah, I probably could.
You probably could have. Which fan base should be more still engaged? We'll say that more engaged with the rest of the way with slim playoff hopes. The Bengals or the Dolphins?
I'm trying to who the Bengals, they play the Broncos, don't they? This next week?
I think so.
Or is it the Dolphins? One of those two teams played the Broncos this week.
Let me check.
Or then the next one of the final two
week
games.
17. Yeah, the Chiefs play them the final week.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. The Bengals and Broncos played this week.
Okay. Yeah. I just I'm going to say the Dolphins. Just because I think that at least they have somewhat of a better defense.
Yeah.
The Bengals, you just can't ever count on them to win because that defense is so bad this year.
Yeah. No, I agree. Right now, they're the Bengals are the 10th seed, the only one, the lowest seed that's not been eliminated yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is their conference record is 4-6. Colts are 6-5. Dolphins are 5-5. So it just puts them behind the step. And the Broncos at 9-6 overall record. So if they tie the same record, if they lose out, they win out, then they still need those wins to really add up there, and it's just going to be tough. And obviously they'll have the head-to-head, which will be the ultimate one, but it's very slim chance. And if the Chiefs don't have a whole lot to play for in that final week, because if the Chiefs win, they get the home field advantage, and there's really nothing to play for other than, which is always nice, eliminating a division opponent from the playoffs.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah. So there's that. But then you also have an eliminated team in the Carolina Panthers, 4-11. But, I mean, they just beat the Arizona Cardinals. What are we doing?
Yeah, just knock the Cardinals out of the playoffs.
That's great.
I mean, I don't think – I bet you the Cardinals are like, man, we got a good, easy game here. Nope. Ticket too light. And
Chuba Hubbard ran the ball down their throat.
Yeah, I know. I played against him in fantasy.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And then Bryce Young rushing touchdown, 3 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah. People watch out for Bryce Young.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happening. So it is a great. It turned out to be an okay weekend for football. I think the thing that made it much better, made almost a great weekend, was you didn't have any insane like season-ending injuries, which typically can happen later in the season. But there was one, Tank Dell. He was obviously it was a pretty rough injury. The Texans have addressed that by picking up Deontay Johnson. That's kind of my quick question as we wrap up the show. Tubby, is this a good pickup, or is this just a disaster waiting to happen on his third team?
I think it's a disaster. The dude's head is not anywhere in the game of football right now.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah.
All right, final question. Packers playing the Saints tonight. More or less snow tonight than a trace? What do you got?
I'm going to say more. I don't know what it's supposed to look like, but let's just go with more. It's up north in Wisconsin in December. We'll say more.
Yeah, it's been back and forth every time. I keep checking because I'm like, come on, Monday Night Football, school game. Let's go. And so we'll see. Well, guys, that is the episode. We hope you all have an incredible Christmas. We know it's Christmas Eve as you're getting this episode released to y'all. We're excited as we head into the weekend, and playoff football is always a fun time because even after that comes, you guessed it, Tubby's favorite time of the year is basically Christmas for him as we go into draft season. So if you have not already, there's so many great reasons to subscribe to the show, the Debbie Sports Podcast. We're here for you guys. We hope you have a great Christmas. Till then. See y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.